Here's the live stream. Share it around. Share to Twitter. You're live streaming our show tonight. Pop in and ask us anything. At Brandon Howell. Live streaming the show tonight. Pop in and ask us anything. One more place to share it. We still got 8 minutes before the show starts. Pop in and ask us anything. Frankie McDonald and Brandon Hauk. And the whole meteorological crew will be there for you. Hopefully, if people like this, I know the finalized YouTube version is my preference. The radio show is what it's supposed to be. But, you know, maybe having something interactive for anybody who happens to want to see it, see us live recording. So I'm just setting up here and sharing is caring. Okay. We'll close the Twitters. We'll close this and we'll close that. And we'll get started. Frankie McDonald will be here in 6 minutes. As the show goes, if you got questions, do say hi. If you want, there in the chat. If you want to give a thumbs up, if you want to tell your friends that we're live right now, maybe it's their chance to ask Frankie McDonald a question. You know, if you want to thumbs it up, help the algorithm machine. If you want to share it, if you want to donate, join our Patreon or become a member of the channel here. All those things can help us continue to make radio programs and things like that. So Brandon Hauk's going to be late. Usually he's already here by now. But they're having an outdoor party, he says. So that's nice. Hey, Jennifer Kosman. How you doing today? We're about to start radio. Frankie's really prompt. He'll show up at 6:59. And then without saying a word, I will hit record on my end, and the show will happen organically. What happens though every week is this is a pre-record. So what do? I take it afterwards. I cut things out. Large sections that don't fit. I add things. I got a bunch of segments this week that I want to add. From Frankie, Joe Stover sent me something. Olivier got some nice. Olivier's almost said the last name wrong. Olivier's got some nice video from up in Inuvik. So that's stuff that I add in afterwards. Hi, Janice Smith. My day's been going just fine. Quiet. I think I'm going to go to see Danny Bell play some music tonight. I don't leave my house much. Hey, Shelly Solinsky. I've been wondering when the temps near Prince George will pick up enough to start some hatches on our lake. Seriously, I am out there a lot, and it's freaking me out that nothing is hatching. Yeah, good point. I mean, we've been on the boundary of that heat. We just haven't really got any of it. Wildfires happening today in Lytton again. So, yeah, I don't think that it'll be anything like last year's story, but I think the collective trauma of it is just like, you just don't want to fire anywhere near Lytton for a while. You know, that would be nice. So I think in a matter of a minute and a half, just waiting, hit record for the radio. Better make sure Frankie has the link one more time. That's a good thing to do. Invitation. Here's my chance to get a drink of water quickly. There's Imogen. Hey, Imogen. Admit, Zoom user, Joe Stover, everyone's showing up. They're so prompt. We're really good at this. We've been doing this for a while. Hey, everybody.
Right.
Pete, Joe.
Hi, Joe. Hey, Pete.
Hey, Joe.
Joe with Mo.
What do you know? Not much.
What I know, less than I've forgotten.
Oh yeah, but what do they say? They say that Pete Galenko has forgotten more than anybody will ever know.
That is, don't doubt it.
It's good, eh? That's not bad.
So we're live streaming on YouTube right now already.
Right on, right on.
So that link I sent you, share it around. Maybe your friends will want to. I've already got a few people watching, so that's cool. You know, it's a different format. We'll still have to produce the show regularly as we do because of radio format, but
I sauced it onto Twitter already. I'll just put it onto Facebook as well. Why not?
The live stream on
Oh, I just gotta clear my throat. Get that out. Hey, Frankie, I sent you that link for the live stream. We're live streaming already on YouTube. If you want to share that link, but I guess it might be hard for you because you're on your phone. You're not walking around your house. But if you want to do that, we'll still record the show and I'll still edit it like always. But now people can ask questions if they want in the live stream, right? So
yes.
And we can also say what they're saying. But I'm going to hit record before we do any of that. Good morning, Prince George. Good afternoon, Winnipeg. Welcome to the Meteorological Report, Comedy and Meteorology. It's this weird science that myself, Joey, only invented, the science of comedy and meteorology. It's the science of how much the weather sucks in Canada because it never seems to be perfect. It's always too hot, it's too cold, it's too rainy, it's too dry, it's too apocalyptic. It's always something. It's always something. So we got our team of meteorologists here inside the studio. You're listening to us on C for 88.7 FM, Prince George, CKUW 95.9 FM in Winnipeg. Show airs on Saturdays in Prince George at 10 a.m. Good morning. And noon hour in Winnipeg. That's where a lot of meteorology students go to school when there's school. Maybe some of you are in school. As you may know, this is required watching for all meteorology students in Winnipeg. If you do not listen and watch the meteorological report, you may miss something important that comes up in your exams. We're here with all of the meteorological crew. As I said, we got Imogen Cookie Bailey in Victoria. We got Joe Stover, who's up in Churchill, Manitoba. Brandon Houck's late, but he's coming from Big Country Radio, 105.7 FM in Brooks, Alberta. And we got Pete Galenko. It's his last weekend in Virginia. He's moving to Colorado. But most importantly of all, we got the man himself, Frankie McDonald. Frankie, how you doing so far?
I'm doing great so far. It's cool outside in Sydney, Nova Scotia. Get a big heat wave headed for Nova Scotia next week in Virginia, in Massachusetts, New York, and Washington, D.C. And Colorado's also going to be impacted by the heat wave as well. And it's going to bring a heat wave out of the Pacific Northwest. And it's going to bring a lot of rain up in Nunavut next week. And it's going to bring a lot of sandstorm traveling all the way from Africa, traveling all the way to the Gulf Coast of the United States from Sahara Desert like a dry, dusty air. Sandstorms really, really bad in Egypt, Libya, Algeria, Morocco, and Sahara Desert. As right now, this is their kind of winter, blowing all the sand around. And up in Ontario and Quebec, it's going to bring really hot temperatures. Next week, it's going to bring lots of rain in Northern Ontario. And it's going to bring really hot weather up across southern Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and Alberta, and interior British Columbia. That's going to cause a lot of fires, including California, Oregon, Washington, and Texas, and Louisiana, and Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, and Oklahoma, and Kansas, South Dakota, North Dakota, Nebraska, Wyoming. They're getting really hot weather next week down all across Montana and all these places, and St. Louis, Missouri, and East St. Louis, Illinois, and all these places. Chicago's going to be affected and things like this. And hurricane season will be up to supermax on September 10th. That's the peak of the hurricane season, September 10th, 2022. It's going to bring really bad hurricanes all across the Atlantic and things like this. It's going to bring, and Europe is getting a really bad heat wave. In England right now, France, it's up to 40 degrees Celsius in Paris, France. It's a really bad heat wave. And I heard it from Nintendo has issued a warning, and it means that don't turn on your Nintendo Switch consoles. The temperature's above 36 degrees Celsius. That's what Nintendo said. And Japan's getting a bad heat wave too. And Nintendo just issued a warning. Don't turn on your consoles in the heat.
What happens if you turn on your Nintendo in the heat, Frankie?
That can burn. That can cause overheat. Like a console's Nintendo Switch, not like the Xbox and PlayStation.
Interesting. So there's a little bit of update from the world of Nintendo this week in Japan. Oh my God, in Japan. Frankie, what about hurricanes? Is there any activity right now going on that we should know about?
Not activity right now. Tropical storm Hurricane Darby's going to be downgraded to post-tropical storm. That's going to bypass Hawaii. There's another storm going to develop in Hawaii. Next name on the list starts with E.
E for excellent hurricane. Frankie, what's going on in Australia right now?
Australia's been so much rain causing flooding right now. It's really, really cold in southeastern Australia and New Zealand. They're bringing really, really, really cold temperatures. And their winter time days are getting longer. The next sunset in Cookatook, Nunavut, that'll be next week. Up around Grease Fjord, Nunavut, that'll be August the 20th. And and up and around alert Nunavut next sunset is September 5th.
Shelly Solinsky's asking when temperatures in PG will pick up enough for fish hatches to start in the lakes. She says it's freaking her out that nothing is hatching. It's not been warm enough.
That means once again in September, a lot of wasps kick up in supermax gear, and sometime the end of September, when the bugs die in the end of September, the bugs lay their eggs before they die every fall. Small bugs and black mosquitoes and little black flies die before the big bugs.
When do you think temperatures will rise for Prince George?
Next week in Prince George, British Columbia as well, up around Dawson Creek, Fort St. John, Fort Nelson, and all these places, even Whitehorse.
Excellent news. What's going on in Russia this week?
Up around, it's a lot of fires going on in Russia right now. It's so hot in Siberia. Up around Yakutsk, their fall starts sometime in second half of August. Leaves change colors there in second half of August and September. In the second half of September, winter starts up there.
There's been a new fire start in BC today in Lytton. I don't think it'll be anything like last year's Lytton fire, of course, but it's collectively traumatic for everyone to see fire anywhere near that town right now.
And this year, what about this November, December in British Columbia? That's going to cause a lot of rain again. That means that last year in November and December, Coquihalla Highway 5 bridge washed out, Trans-Canada Highway 1 washed out, BC Highway 99 washed out, Highway 5A washed out, Highway 3 washed out, Highway 7 washed out. Because of so much rain, they had to call in the military.
Yeah, and it could very well happen again.
They had to call in the military.
What's weather like right there in Sydney, Nova Scotia for you, Frankie?
It's cool outside right now in Sydney, Nova Scotia. Right now, it was warm earlier today. Hey, did you hear about that? That they had to call in the military to rebuild the temporary bridge in Coquihalla Highway for essential traffic, same with Highway 3.
I did hear that they did that. Yep, I did hear that, Frankie.
They
What
had
else
to
you
get
got?
the military had to get the construction crew.
What else you got this week, Frankie? What's going on?
That means Liam Sparling's the new guy. He met you.
That was a really nice interview we had yesterday with Liam Sparling, comedian, and we've invited him to become part of the show if he wishes. So he's in the group chat and he has the link. And if he happens to show up tonight, or maybe once he sees an episode or two, he'll understand how free and easy we really are. Anybody in the meteorological panel got any questions for Frankie McDonald?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got a question for you, Frankie. When does the sun set in Alert this year?
September 5th.
September 5th. So the sun's still up there right now until all the way until September 5th, then I guess.
Yes.
And then when does Alert have 24-hour darkness?
Sometime in November.
Right on. Thanks, buddy.
Frankie, you have some fun fan encounters this week recently?
Yeah.
Some fans? Can you tell us about some encounters with some of your fans this week?
And that means I'll be back on the Bass Guy Show just on audio form. He told me that starting next Wednesday, Frankendown returns to Bass Guy Show again. This time it's going to be on just on Patreon.
All right. Well, listeners, be sure to tune in.
Frankie's a big fan of Bass Guy and talks about Bass Guy all the time.
He's a good guy, that bass guy. What's his name again? It's Mike, right? Is that his name?
Jack Casey.
Right, Jack.
Jack
Yeah.
Casey.
I always
Casey.
get his name mixed up.
Imogen, you can subscribe to Bass Guy on Patreon.
I can subscribe to the Bass Guy on Patreon.
Yes.
Awesome. Frankie, I do have a weather question for you. What's the weather like on Saturn right now?
Right now, it's stormy weather in Saturn. Right now, Saturn's moon Titan. It rains. Almost look like liquid nitrogen on Saturn's moon Titan. But the atmosphere is not breathable. Don't have oxygen up in Saturn's moon Titan.
Ricky Dickinson's asking, what's the weather supposed to be like between Baker Lake and Winnipeg tomorrow morning, Frankie? Maybe
It'll
Joe
get
Stover knows
really,
this.
really hot up in Winnipeg, Manitoba, and things like this.
Really, 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 really hot.
Nice. I wonder, is he going from Winnipeg to Baker or going from Baker Lake to Winnipeg? I wonder if he does,
That
he'll
means they
be
have to get the plane from
flying over
Baker Lake to
Churchill.
Churchill.
Sometimes they do. Yeah. One of the, we're one of the fuel stops for when planes usually go from Baker Lake down to Winnipeg. They'll usually stop in Churchill, and we'll fill them up with fuel. And, yeah, we actually, a big, huge stretch from right around Baker Lake, just south of Winnipeg today, Thursday the 14th, was a big slow line of thunderstorms. So Churchill finally got a thunderstorm today, which was it didn't last long enough, but it was pretty rocking, that's for sure. So it was nice to get a bit of moisture. We're hoping to get a bit more soon, that's for sure.
Next week, there'll be first sunset where Olivier is in Coquitlam, Nunavut. The first sunset takes place there next week.
And when do the leaves change in Kugluktuk?
Up in Inuvik, Northwest Territories, and Fort McPherson, Northwest Territories, in Northern Yukon, sometime in second half of August. Leaves change colors up in Inuvik.
Olivier Forbes Bouillon wants to join the show tonight. It's his internet up there in Kugluktuk is always spotchy at best. I understand that living here in Wells. Joe understands that living in Churchill. This is a show made from the remote parts of Canada in many ways. I'm on the West Coast, Frankie McDonald on the East Coast. Unbelievable cast of characters we got here. Yes, indeed. Frankie, Jennifer Coastman is asking, how much snow will we get this winter in the Caribou?
A lot of snow in the Northwest because the La Nina may reform again.
Right. Joe, talk to us about your thunderstorm a little bit more today. You were at the airport in the video you sent me, and you didn't give me any audio in your video. So that was
Yeah, sorry
unfortunate.
about that. That was
So it's hard to use it for radio.
yeah, I ran out while it was starting to downpour, to try and at least get a good view of the sky. So it was a pretty narrow band of thunderstorms, even though it was like probably about a 1,600-kilometer line, like one solid line of thunderstorms going across. So it was a narrow band, but it was slow moving. So the wind did pick up. I wouldn't say it was anything crazy. I would say maybe we had 60 kilometer winds. Like, again, it really wasn't going all that fast, but we got a lot of rain in about I'd say about 20 minutes. It was really pouring for a bit, and had quite a lot of lightning in and around the airport. And thankfully there were no planes or anything to fuel, because the rule is, if there is lightning within 5 nautical miles of the station, of the airport, everything stops. No fueling, no getting on a plane, no starting up a plane, any of that kind of thing. So thankfully all of the traffic kind of got out of there before the storm came. So it looked really neat on the way out. Go ahead, sorry.
You must have the because of your job working at the airport, and because you're not just some guy working in the building, you get to be on the tarmac and be where the sky is big. You must have great views sometimes of the weather show.
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And summer is, I mean, I've made no bones about my disdain for the season. However, you do have to find silver linings, and the silver linings for the summer up here is when we do get some active weather, because it is rather rare. But exactly like you said, the view is by and large unobstructed in the Hudson Bay lowlands. You can see for kilometers in every which direction you look, and so you can see when the storm is coming, and then you can sort of gauge how quick it's coming, because you can see, well, I can't see across the river anymore. Oh, well, now I can't see the port building anymore. So you can have a good idea of how fast and how intense the storm is. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Over the last couple of years, with it being as hot as it's been, usually the reward for a hot day is some active weather, either in the afternoon or in the evening. We haven't had any of that stuff. I'm sure a lot of that has to do with the effect from the Hudson Bay, which still does have a little bit of ice in it. There's still polar bears out there on the ice right now, feeding. It won't be for much longer, but it's crazy that it's the middle of July and there is still some ice out there in the bay. So I'm sure that does have some effect in terms of the active weather that, or the lack of active weather that we get. So yeah,
That keeps it cool, especially having the ice around.
yeah,
Has
well,
a-
relatively
effect.
cool.
Joe, when is the
super
leaf
cooling
change
effect.
colors up in Inuvik, Northwest Territories, second half of August?
Second half of August. Boy, I wish it was the second half of August right now, Frankie, let me tell you, because that would
Second half
mean
of
we're
August,
getting,
that's when leaves change colors up in Inuvik, Northwest Territories, up in Fort McPherson, Northwest Territories. Their fall starts in second half of August.
and then once the second half of August is over, then we can start looking forward to winter. And I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
that's our favorite season, isn't it, Frankie?
Up in Alaska, their fall starts in second half of August, like in Fairbanks, Alaska, and all these places. And up around Dawson, Yukon Territory, fall starts in second half of August up in Dawson.
Bring on the
Frankie.
second half of August.
Frankie, are the police looking for you?
No.
Okay, good.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Where are you? Are you somewhere you shouldn't be?
Run,
No.
Frankie, run.
If
Police need to
anyone,
run for Frankie.
They're
They
looking
don't
for
need
somebody else.
Frankie don't need to run from the police.
Imogen has a question about polar bears, Joe.
Let's hear it.
That means when the water melts, polar bears are in. When the ice melts up North Pole, they're in big trouble for polar bears.
Definitely, if they don't have, if the ice doesn't come back, that's for sure. But bears are amazing swimmers. So in the short term, it's okay once the ice melts because they have no problem swimming. But you're absolutely right. If they don't get any ice in the wintertime, then yeah, we'll be in big trouble.
I think
Polar vortex comes back up in the Arctic in October, November. That means up at Greaseview and Nunavut, they'll be extremely cold again. That's when polar vortex returns.
Gotcha. Imogen, what was your question?
do polar bears sweat?
Do polar bears sweat?
Yeah. Do they sweat? Think about where they are right now. They're floating around. It's warming up. They still got chunks of ice to dance on and do bear stuff. It's getting warm. Do they sweat?
Well, I would imagine
The dogs
they'd
sweat
have
with their
to.
tongue.
I would imagine they'd have to sweat. They, you got to get rid of that heat somehow. But yeah, I mean, I'm no polar bear biologist, that's for sure. But I would have to at least take an uneducated guess and say yes.
They likely pant or something.
Well, they probably sweat through the tongue, kind of maybe like dogs and such, like dogs and wolves.
No, cats. Lots of animals do.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Cats are sweaty, gross, filmy animals. I love them. I have a hairless cat. When he sweats, he gets filmy and he feels oily because all the oil and grease on his skin, it just now is wet. And it's like touching a slug.
My sister has a hairless cat, and as much as he's amazing, I don't ever want to touch him.
Oh, unfair. They are soft like an overripe fuzzy peach. They're mushy and they have weird little hands with webbed fingers. Oh, they're awesome.
You make them sound great.
Damp like a slug, webbed fingers. When they're babies, they really look like a giant scrotum. It's just, I get why people look at them and say ew, but you meet one and then you just want to pet them within like a minute. Everyone does it.
I'll give him a little 5-second scratch and then I'm good.
At least touch his nose. On his little cat nose, the way that you do with cats, or like poke the top of his head. He'll love it. So will you. Your life will be changed. Just saying.
Sounds good to me, Imogen.
Olivier Forbes Bouillon did join in, and because he's got such spotchy internet up there, I'm tempted to want to go to him first. And we have been talking about Kugluktuk and Baker Lake and Churchill, Manitoba, and Alert. We've been talking about the North, so we might as well get Olivier's perspective on all things going on in the far North. How you doing so far tonight, Olivier? You're muted. You gotta hit that mute button.
Unmuted
son.
now. Well, in the timeless words of the good old Frankie McDonald, I'd say I'm doing great so far.
The next sunset up at Kugluktuk, Nunavut, that'll be next week.
I can't wait, man. I will get up. I'll get up at 1:17, like you mentioned, and I'll watch the sunset. I'll take a lot of photos. So just a quick little recap of what we've been facing here. So last week we hit 30 degrees Celsius. So there's the first 30 since 2014. And since then we've been stuck in some crazy heat dome, which meant temps in the mid to high 20s, which is pretty uncommon this time of year. And then on Tuesday, we were actually blessed with an awesome lightning storm and thunder showers. So we almost never get those. Maybe once every 2 years, we'll see lightning up here because of the conditions just don't generally allow for them. And apparently, there was lightning recorded as far north as Eureka, and that's at 79 degrees north. So that is extremely, extremely rare.
And I got something else to say. That means the next sunset up in Greece Fjord, Nunavut, that'll be August 20th. And the next sunset up in Alert, Nunavut, that'll be September 5th.
Frankie, if you could go anywhere in Nunavut, where would you go? I know you wouldn't come visit me, so where would you go?
Greece Fjord.
Nice answer. Good answer.
So what's the weather like right now? Show us.
Just to show you guys, so I woke up and it was about 21 this morning, really hot. You know, I slept with the door open, and oh, my dog's going for a walk. Bye, Nikki. And a nice little cold front rolled through, so it's about 9 degrees Celsius right now. Much more comfortable. I can finally feel keeping the mosquitoes away. And I don't know if you guys saw my videos, but the mosquitoes are horrible here. So once the temperature drops, the bugs go away, and we got some great winds right now. It's probably gusting at about 25 kilometers an hour. We got some white caps on the ocean way over there. You probably can't see, but yeah, it's starting to feel like Nunavut again finally, not like downtown Toronto.
How much ice is out there on the ocean? Any?
So I flew in from Cambridge Bay, Nunavut on Monday. I flew in, and most of the Coronation Gulf between Cambridge Bay and here, and sorry, I'm just trying to concentrate. Imogen, you're bothering me. Between Cambridge Bay and Gluktuk, it was totally frozen. So hopefully soon the boaters will be able to come in, and I know that's kind of like a pilgrimage for so many people, is just to boat from Cambridge Bay to Gluktuk in the summertime. So, and without a clear ocean, our sea lifts get stuck too, and we don't get food supplies for the year. So hopefully it clears up.
It's been stubborn. I was just telling the guys before you got on that there's still a stubborn patch of ice from just north of Churchill all the way down to James Bay, and there's still polar bears out there still feeding on seals and stuff, which is just wild for the middle of July.
On the southern, in the Antarctica, the next sunrise up in McMurdo Station, that'll be sometime in August.
Has anyone here eaten a seal? What does the seal taste like? Does it taste like chicken, or is it more gamey?
Strong, eh, Olivier?
Yeah, I've had it. You know, I'm not a fan. I've had other meats too. I've had polar bear and whales and stuff. And I honestly, seal was my least favorite of all those weird exotic meats. Yeah, very strong, very fishy. It's an acquired taste.
I've had smoked
That means
sea
I
lion.
gotta
It
go.
was fabulous.
Monica Boyle's not on social media anymore, and I still send Monica emails and things like this. Monica's not on Facebook and any other social media anymore.
Nikki, come here. Come on.
That's too bad. So Olivier, what would you say? The wind makes it a little bit hard to get a good audio on you, but what would you say is the worst bug in Gluktuk? Is it the black fly, deer fly, horse fly, booze fly, bar fly, mosquito, no senum, dunums, ticks, fleas, tories? What's the worst?
Been there, done that.
So
No, I went inside. Hopefully, I'm a little less annoying indoors. No wind in the background. I don't know what they're called. The locals call them sandflies. I've always thought of them as being something different. But does a sandfly exist? Is that a real bug?
Yep.
Yeah.
This Tuesday past, I was on another podcast called Angie TV, talking about the movies from the 70s, the 80s, and 90s.
Sandfly, sort of like
You better invite us,
horsefly.
Frankie. Yeah, I think I know them as like horse flies or deer flies. Like that's what I associate that with. But they might be different. Does anybody want to chime in? Because I'm I'm not too sure.
Like,
I call
you're
them,
talking? Go ahead, Joey.
maybe they're the ones that I call biting flies.
They're
But
like the big,
sometimes
like,
we get up in the alpine and they're smaller than a regular fly, but they're not a black fly. They're an actual fly of sort. And but then there's actually these smaller little midgy ones. Then we had the no-see-ums too.
no seams. Yeah.
The ones I'm thinking
Those are the
of
worst.
They're the
are
worst in
look
Wells
like
right
house
now.
flies, but much larger, but they bite. And
That's the one I think. Olivier, do you have those? Like, we call them bulldogs in Churchill. Like, they're the horse flies, the ones that like they'll land on
Yeah,
you,
they're
and
like
They take a piece.
yeah, and they don't sting you. They rip your flesh, and like they
full-on
really go to town
carnivores.
on you. Yeah, that's the one. So
They're
yeah,
like the polar bears of flies.
that's exactly it. That's a great way to put it.
Okay, so they land,
But
they don't bite, but they tear your flesh. What weapons are they using? What awful thing has nature given
They
bastards?
have if you look at a enlarged, or like their mouth magnified,
Yeah.
they have like 2 or 3 like blade for like what they use to cut, like, and you almost like a saw, they can use their muscles and like basically like a jigsaw on your flesh. And then they have like another like kind of big spongy thing right next to their mouth, and that's what they use to like lap up the blood. It's disgusting. And
That
there's
is fantastic.
millions of them. And I mean, there's millions of them here. I assume in Kugluktuk it's probably around the same thing. It's Bug City up in Nunavut and northern Manitoba, northern Ontario, probably northern BC as well, I'm guessing, in the summertime.
so
y'all
Frankie, what
probably
would
get them
happen?
What about
mosquitoes that look like little
Innovate?
hummingbirds.
Everybody at once.
One at a time.
Frankie, what would happen if there was a horsefly the size of a basketball?
That means it'll be a really small horse.
Yeah. If you find a horsefly the size of a basketball, learn to dunk right away. Just dunk it. You'll get points. You'll get extra bonus points because it's a giant freaky ass fly.
Yeah. Oh, I got something else to say. That means leaves will be changing colors up in Inuvik second half of August.
Bring on the second half of August. That's what I say. I'm interested in like, we all live, other than Pete, we live in Canada. Pete, there must be some monstrous venomous bug or something that lives in Virginia.
It depends on the season of the year. Really, the horse flies can get nasty on mostly the eastern shore of Virginia. So there's some bay beaches, some Atlantic beaches. Like, there's Chincoteague Island. That's a cool one to look into, where they have wild horses and stuff like that. That's where the horse flies get nasty. Here in Virginia Beach, once in a while we'll get some mosquitoes and stuff, but so far this year it's been very little with mosquitoes. I saw a big old like 5-foot rat snake the other week, but there's all sorts of flying bugs and stuff, but nothing that's been biting me lately, though, as far as insects go. So that's good.
Nice. We hate you. We hate you, just to let you
Yeah,
know.
I know.
all the weird stuff's in West
So-
Virginia, right? All the weird stuff's over there.
West Virginia, but the Eastern Shore, Outer Banks is usually pretty good. Eastern Shore, though, sometimes when I be chilling outside on the porch, not this year but previous years, the mosquitoes would get pretty bad for some weeks. But this year it's just been lucky. I don't know if it's just the winds or what. Hasn't seemed to be a problem. We'll get the random other bugs, but not the nasty ones.
You know, I was in Ocracoke once camping, so Outer Banks, and I totally forgot they had cactuses there. So it's 3 in the morning. I'm a little drunk, and I decided to go take a pee. I'm going out of my tent, and I've got nothing on my feet. So what do? First thing I do is I step on the worst, spikiest cactus possible. And yeah, it was a very, very painful experience. I'll never forget that. So you might not have bugs, but you got freaking weird plants growing all over the place, and I don't like that.
You'll
Watch
get
the cactus
over
bird.
here if you go out in the dunes. The birds will get you on the north end of Virginia Beach. The birds, if you're walking without with the flip flops or just bare feet, if you just walk in the dunes, you're not supposed to walk in the dunes to protect the dunes. You're not supposed to walk in the dunes, but if you do, the birds will get you. But otherwise, it's usually pretty pretty chill.
Don't walk in the dunes. Don't wear bare feet. Brandon Hauk, we're halfway through the show, and you're finally here with us. And it's time that we all just mute ourselves for a second and ask Brandon Hauk about the weather. There's been questions about weather in Manitoba tomorrow, questions about what happened this week, questions about where the weather's going. Is Prince George ever going to warm up? How much snow is going to come in the Caribbean this fall? Everyone's got questions, Brandon. Give us all the answers.
Yes, so I just got back from our big. I think this is the first time I've sat down all day today. Holy smokes! So I did a presentation today at the library. That was a lot of fun, and then I did the block party tonight, and we had a great time, great turnout. And I just got back from that block party, a lot of fun, and I had to change out of my big black shirt I was wearing out there because it was 30 degrees. And you're out there wearing a black t-shirt. You're just, oh my goodness. So I'm sweating like a pig right now. So we're about 30 degrees today. We've had about last couple of days in the 30s here. We've had this ridge of high pressure. We've even had some storms trying to develop, but we've had too much of a strong capping inversion to get those storms to go. And I think by next week, we're going to finally get those storms to get going here across the prairies. And we've had some pretty nasty storms go through Saskatchewan last night, put on a bit of a light show for them. And in Manitoba today, we've had some pretty wild thunderstorms moving through that province. And we're going to see that severe weather threat continue through the day Friday across Saskatchewan. And then we've got the next system we'll have to pay attention to next week after a couple of days of fairly impressive heat across southern Alberta and Saskatchewan. Temperatures low 30s, mid 30s in some areas. So it is just smoking hot down here for the weekend, for the start of the weekend. And then we're going to see that transition in the next week with that low pressure system moving in from Montana. That is going to bring us the chance of storms on Sunday in Alberta, as well as the chance of possibly Sunday to Monday, and probably some significant rain as well. So that means I definitely have to mow my lawn this weekend.
Definitely. You are hearing the show on C4 88.7 FM and CKW 95.9 FM. Recording the show on July 14th. If you're watching us on YouTube, you're watching us right now live. If you want to see the show ever on YouTube, we record the show on Thursdays at 7 p.m. on my Joey Only, the Caribou Weather Dude YouTube. You can also see the finalized episodes and all that kind of stuff there. Joey Only, the Caribou Weather Dude. And so you're hearing, we're recording the 14th. It airs in Prince George on the 16th on the Saturday. And then it airs in Winnipeg on, 2 days later, the 18th, right? So, just so everyone's aware about our forecasting, if you're hearing it on the radio a few days from now.
And did you hear about that? And did you some big snowstorms up in Ontario back in 2010? They had to deploy National Guard just to get the people off the highway and things like this because it was buried from major snow squalls. Because they had to call in the National Guard. Sometimes the places go on their martial law because there's so much snow from the blizzard conditions in the winter.
What I wouldn't give for that.
Brandon,
That's wild.
when
Oh, we
was
got Brown and Hauk on there. Brandon Hauk, I bet you get asked all the time, Brandon Hauk, how's the weather? But how often do you get asked, Brandon Hauk, how's Brandon Hauk? How's Brandon Hauk doing, Brandon Hauk?
You know what? I did a parade a couple of weeks ago, and that was the question from every person in the crowd. Brandon Hauk, how's the weather? How's the weather? All shouting out to me as I was going by in the parade, and I had to give them the weather. And tonight, at the block party, I actually went on the microphone, and I gave the weather over the microphone, and I made sure everybody at this block party tonight had the weather forecast tonight. So I didn't have anybody come up to ask me how the weather is going to be for the weekend because I already said it over the microphone. So I saved myself from that tonight. Yeah.
That is very funny.
Oh, yes. And even at the superstore, too. I've even had people come. Actually, was talking about this today, too, where I was standing in the cereal aisle. And this one guy came up to me and he said, "You're Brandon Hauk." I'm like, yes, I am Brandon Hoke. And he's like, can I take a selfie with you? And I was like, okay, we're standing in the cereal aisle, but sure, why not? Picture in the cereal aisle. It's this random guy. I have no idea who he is. He's like, my wife is gonna love this. So walks off.
Maybe he could tell because your T-shirt looks just like your face.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I've been switching. I've been wearing different shirts today.
Hey, are you that guy on the T-shirt?
Yeah, of course. That is me.
You should have offered to go back with him and take a selfie with his wife as well.
Do all of your shirts have your
Short.
picture?
Shopping for
Do
his
they?
wife.
Yeah, even could have made a dirty video with him and his wife. Who knows?
Yeah,
Honestly,
make OnlyFans, Brandon Howe.
Well, I think
Does
Brandon
OnlyFans under a different name.
Houck is now at the level of Canadian celebrity where he's going to start having some songs written about him, I think.
Oh boy.
All good. No, that's once you've had a song written about you, like it's I don't know, like Canada is just so much smaller population wise than the States, and it just always seems like somebody will write a song about just any, like once they reach some sort of, sorry, I'm swatting a mosquito away here. Gee whiz. Like
Let it bite you.
I-
Toughen up.
I hate those things. But for those that are
This
listening
is
in
for
Winnipeg,
show. You got to keep it together for the show, Joe.
I'm trying. The bloody mosquitoes.
You are failing.
Joey only will know because he's got some Winnipeg roots. Like, you remember Nick Hill, right? From Kern Hill Furniture Co-op.
Nick Hill, 50 years in the
Years in the
same
same
location.
location.
Nick Hill, the man who left the sofa machine on. The kitchen sets and sofa beds and dining room sensations. Nick Hill, he left it to his number one son.
Andrew Neville, shout out. So anyway, for those that don't know, Nick
The
Hill,
owner of my fire company is that I'm working for now, even though there's no fires and I'm not fighting fires. His name is Nick Hill. And so I'd sing that song to him. I was like, someday I'm gonna show you that song, Nick Hill.
That's perfect. Yeah. So for those that don't know who Nick Hill is, yeah, he ran this furniture store in Winnipeg, and he had the most iconic commercials. They were all in one take. That was Nick Hill's thing, was he would do it in one take. And once his sons were, old enough to start helping out with the business, he'd bring them on, and he had his number one son, his number two son, and he would say things like, "We've left the sofa machine on. We've got so many sofas, so we've got to sell them all." So anyway, so here's the deal. Brandon Howick, you are approaching that level of celebrity, and I would not be surprised if you have some songs written about you in the near future. Just saying.
I had songs written about me, and then we broke up, and it's a terrible source of sadness. Yesterday was my 2-year sobriety on that topic.
Congratulations.
Thanks. Yeah.
Happy
It's
anniversary.
like mixed feelings. It's like,
Through the
remember
ashes
remember that awful day and how much of a loser I still was? That was 2 years ago. It's like, it's like,
No, that was 2 years ago yesterday that you were a dirtbag or a loser or whatever. 2 years ago today, you were
Yes.
born as awesome.
Imogen knows what's up. That's
I
it. I like it.
Y'all have 2 anniversaries to celebrate. Congratulations on both.
thank you.
Here.
Well, one radio host did actually make a song about me, actually.
Sweet.
There you go.
Host. And because I've
Sing
always
it, Brandon.
arms, it goes, he was a storm hogger and a heartbreaker and something like that too. I don't know, something went along lines like that, because I'm a storm hogger. I steal all the storm. Brandon Houk steals all the storms. Do. That was fun. That was fun radio.
That's
Fine.
kind of
I'm
radio.
gonna have to put all these beautiful Frankie McDonald bobbleheads and action figures in a box like tomorrow with my I wish me luck that I don't damage any of them taking them to Colorado, because this is the last that you're gonna see them here like this. Next time I'll be in a new place.
That's exciting. Are you excited, Pete?
I'm excited. I love Virginia Beach. but I'm also really excited. I'm gonna be in a great new spot. I'm gonna be a block and a half from a Trader Joe's, a block from a Walgreens, a block from a McDonald's, a block from a Target, a block from everything. So I'll be walking a lot. It'll be nice for me.
And
Sounds
you
like
Do
hell.
you have a Quebec Nordiques jersey? Because you're gonna need one of those.
That's right. That's right.
I
Somebody
don't,
better
got,
tell.
I don't have any jerseys of any sort.
They
To
know
be
Dick.
honest,
You're moving to the home of the Stanley Cup champions. That's
You gotta
gotta
get
be
larger,
exciting.
and then we'll work on that.
One of Brandon's buddies lives there. Well, maybe not buddies, but like you and Cale McCarr got to be pretty tight, aren't you, Brandon?
Well, he knows who I am. When I met him there, I was like, I'm Brandon Hook. Oh, I know who you are.
Well, there
What
you
about
go.
Olivier? How many years he got left up in Cookatook?
But
How many years do I have left in Kugluktuk?
Yeah.
Depends how many more years my wife can take it up here. And then one day she'll be like, it's time to go. And I'll be like, okay, we're going to alert.
Alert or bust.
did Frankie just imply that you're up there as some sort of prison sentence? Is that what we just
Seems
heard?
like that.
A
No,
lot of
not
people
true.
feel that way when they're up here. It's like, how many years are you there for? I don't know, 2 years. Like, either you want to be here or you don't. Like, yeah, so I don't know. That's a straight answer. I don't know.
My family moved to Churchill for 2 years, and it was only going to be 2 years, and that was 1987, and we're all still here. So,
Dear Lord. I mean, congratulations.
and a different topic. If you get the Rona was kicking my butt, but this stuff Paxlovid, it works. I'm on day 4 of symptoms, day 3 of that medication, and I would not be joining y'all on this
That means the
episode.
hell
I
Michael.
think
What
that
about Michael?
medication saved me
What
because
about
I was
Michael
zombie
Seneca?
sick
How's he
this
doing?
morning, yesterday. Oh, bad.
What about Michael Seneca?
Michael Sannikov, I talked to him yesterday. He met up with Antonio Antone, aka Tony, and they were in some city north of Odessa, south of Kiev and Dnipro, but them two met up in person, and finally Antone got out of his hometown in Kharkiv that had been, for the past, since the war started, they would be bombed every few hours. It was not a good place to be, so that was good that they he got out of there. Anton's been my IT dude with the site I'm working on, but Michael's doing all right. Anton's doing all right, and they were chilling with some big fluffy kitty cat. It was, I guess, a neighborhood cat or something. I forgot what they named the kitty, but they're doing all right though. They're doing all right. They got plans for the future there, so they're gonna. But yeah, they're looking forward to the war being over. God
it's just
willing.
wild.
Hey, Pete,
Such a different world.
I noticed you got Gucci Man and Frankie McDonald there while there. So who's the biggest goat of the two? Or
The biggest
equal?
goat of the two?
Yeah.
You're making me choose between Guwap and Frankie McDonald.
F-Wop.
Oh man, I'll say this: Gucci Mane is the king of the South, and Frankie McDonald's the king of the North.
That
Great
Good answer. I love it.
answer.
That is the most diplomatic non-answer you could have possibly given. You might be
That's-
Canadian.
That's the
What is a
best.
Gucci man?
I grew up listening to the Gucci Mane, but now I probably listen to more Frankie McDonald. So
What's the Gucci man?
Gucci,
Oh,
he
that
has
guy.
thousands. He probably has over 2,000 songs, including features, and I've listened to pretty much all of them. I haven't listened to as much as the new stuff in the recent years, but the stuff.
So
like,
definitely Frankie McDonald's cooler.
Frankie McDonald's the man.
Yeah, man.
And did
Frankie
you hear?
McDonald's the man, but they both got really cool story. Radrick Davis, he made the they both make that they got a lot in common in that they both made their own way and are trendsetters and respect.
Frankie hasn't
Yeah,
sold
for
out yet,
respect
though,
on
so
name.
respect Frankie for not selling out.
Did you hear about that down in Antarctica? And did you hear about that? And then Antarctica enters their spring on September 22nd.
What?
Spring
happened
break
in-
in Antarctica.
And
Oh,
it's sometime in October,
Yeah.
November, December. A lot of scientists will be back there again for another season.
well, that's good news, I think. Is it?
They go there for their summer. When it's our winter, it's their summer.
We'd never actually asked Olivier, why are you in Kugluktuk?
So let me tell you a little story. So about 5 years ago, I worked in Ontario. I was living in Sault Ste. Marie, and I was on holidays in Squamish, and I had the great idea to go jump off an 80-foot cliff, and I did that. Landed in about 4 feet of water. I broke a whole bunch of bones and got medevac to Vancouver General Hospital, where I was on life support for quite some time. And I pulled through. I survived. I was told I'd probably never be able to run, and I just ran a half marathon the other day, so I proved the doctors wrong. So long story short, that happened, and I'm like, damn, life can be short, and it really made me want to do something different and crazy. So I went to school to be an urban planner. Never really cared to get a job in my field, but I always loved Nunavut, always loved the North. At the same time, I'm just sitting there like in a wheelchair looking at jobs, and they had a job opening up here in Kugluktuk for urban planning position. So one thing led to another, got a job interview, and we packed our bags, and now we're here. So yeah, it was quite the move, and I'm so happy I did it. It's been incredible.
That is a good story. I would say you didn't prove the doctors wrong, but you beat the odds, possibly.
Well, I'm really curious how dedicating yourself to however much school and training and years of hard work, or however long of very, very hard work, how is that wild and crazy? Where is the crazy in there? Because that is a lot of dedication and it's awesome. But how is it wild?
It's definitely not wild. It's far from wild. It's me
I
wanting
think
to
when
prove
you're
myself, I guess.
when you're basically a war amp, there's not very much wild you can do. So making big dreams of what you want to do next, is a kind of wild.
It's relatively wild.
Success is wild by default of how much failure we are all surrounded by. So on that scale, it's wild. But as far as the spontaneity of do something wild and crazy after, nearly dying, the whole, I'm going to buckle down, I'm going to work my bag off, I'm going to go to school, I'm going to follow this huge dream, I'm going to work real hard and dedicate my life to making everything awesome. That's not spontaneous. It's very,
Well, you don't know. Maybe Olivier was before the accident was boring. I don't know. Maybe he was like the most boring person on the planet. Now look at him.
So he was a librarian before, and now he just builds libraries and urban planning and knows and just like takes the Monopoly house and throws them on the map and says, let's build this.
Let's do it.
That's wild.
Donald Trump of the North.
Well,
Damn
Kugluktuk is wild. That's for sure.
Kugluktuk is pretty wild. It's got the nickname 420 capital of the North, but I really think it should be the mosquito capital of the North, because I think we got a lot more mosquitoes here than. But you walk anywhere, it just smells like skunks getting hit, and I haven't seen any skunks getting hit.
Is it hard to smoke weed outside because there's so many mosquitoes? Like I've had that experience where we couldn't actually. Well, after the tornado went through my cousin's property, we took the quad back there and went and looked at all the damage. But it had ripped up all the black fly nests. We couldn't even get the pipe lit, man. It was just like, it was so furious. So then we jumped on the quad and drove 80 feet, lit the pipe quickly, jumped on the quad, drove 40 feet, lit the pipe quickly. It was just, I'd never seen black flies like that. Can you do the
Did
black
you smoke
flies?
any black flies in the bowl?
You have to be quick and to make sure that you haven't smoked any black flies. You want to smoke black hash, not black flies.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, that's my my short story of how I ended up here. And as Frankie said, when am I getting out of here? Who knows?
Circling back,
Life can.
circling back to the black flies versus black hash thing, if you were to smoke a bunch of flies that had just feasted on the blood of someone who's completely 100% intoxicated, like liver poisoning, they're overdosing, they're on all sorts of stuff. So all it needs is a tiny little bit. Can you get the secondary effect of the contact high, or just the dumbed down version of getting high on whatever they were on if you smoke those flies? Is this reasonable?
Mosquito adrenochrome.
Yes.
I
Yes.
think that's a complex answer there, depending on the substances and compounds and their whatever, all sorts of
This is honestly
burning
something
point of,
I've never contemplated. This is the
Why?
first time I can't say I've ever had a thought like, I wonder if I smoked a bunch of black flies that have been feasting on somebody who is mega high. I wonder if I'd get high too. I can honestly
no, there are some traditional cultures out in with not even the good type of mushrooms, like the whatever muscaria mushrooms that are not even the psilocybin mushrooms, where there would be shamans that would drink the urine of other people and they would get intoxicated secondarily off the urine because it still have the metabolites from the first people that were tripping on whatever delirium
Yeah.
substance.
Certainly, I can recall a time where I was
Truth.
really ripped on acid and sitting around in the nature getting feasted on by bugs and giggling to myself.
Well, yeah.
I found it out
Because I
today.
know I just totally screwed those
That
bugs
means
over.
when travelers entering Canada, mandatory random testing has to return to the airport.
I guess that's the cue to change the subject, you guys.
No. See, okay.
But it's true. Frankie is correct. Frankie is correct. They're bringing it back.
Joy.
There's a thing on the
There goes
internet.
my trip to Antarctica.
What?
There's a thing on the internet where it shows a spider web under the influence of like LSD, like MDMA, this weed, this, that, and the other drug, and it's just like, who are the scientists that are getting paid to do these experiments? Like, that's some out of that movie Step Brother type of experiment. It's like, I want to be paid to do those type of experiments.
I know exactly which pictures you're talking about, and it is like so wild. Like, here's a normal spider web. Here's a spider on cocaine. Here's a spider on LSD. Like,
So the LSD spider
insane.
did pretty good.
I think you're actually referring to this one. I got it right here. Let me set this up
So
for you.
stoners are known for building stuff, for creativity, stonerdom. Gibbers like to draw and doodle and just clean. Everyone's got their quirk. So, I mean, the productive ones are the ones who go to school and smoke their weed or whatever while they're studying, because it is for many a study aid. For everyone else, it's recreational. But the ones who actually complete the programs, they want to know. Some of us want to.
It depends what you're doing.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, it depends what you're doing. I mean, everybody's different.
Okay. Share screen. Watch this. Okay.
Oh, damn, the
Oh,
hinterland.
wait. I got to turn the volume on.
What? Why is there no volume? Joey, what have you done?
Is the name of it
Is that
crack
crack?
spider?
Crack.
Oh, it is now. Look at that bad boy. Here's some crack.
Interland who's who? The crack spider.
The cracknid. There's a whole new species being developed here. Cracknids. We're going to change their DNA so that they replicate the effects of cocaine in their
Correct.
normal lives.
Carachnids.
Do they get to smoke spider too?
We have a new monster in the world.
And
As
it's
if
the
spiders weren't terrifying enough.
crack spider.
Just listen.
Make me.
Is that filmed in like 1980s Bronx?
Damn it, where'd my weed go?
We can't hear it, Joey.
Yeah, there's no volume. Why are you yelling at us to shut up when there's no volume? Okay, I like him throttling the car. That's a nice touch. I like where
It's
this
definitely
Is it
different
crack?
than the one I saw, Joey.
How could there be no volume?
Yeah, there's no volume for us, buddy.
Weird.
Done.
It was on sharing.
You just thought that we were like Mystery Science Theater 3000, the whole thing, like just sabotaging it.
Yeah,
we
I
have
did.
no volume.
Funny, I got a weird urge for crack now.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Joey.
That being said, hey, Joey, when does the scientists return to Antarctica?
Sometime in September, Frankie.
Scientists start going down there again to do research and
We
things
gotta
like
send,
this.
we gotta send you.
Would you
How's the
go down
internet
to
in
Antarctica? Would you go to Antarctica, Frankie, if somebody offered you a job at McMurdo Station for the summer down there?
And what about the Emerson Scott Sopo Station?
What
What
about
about
it?
that one? Would you rather go to that one, or would you rather go to McMurdo Station, or would you rather go to
Emerson
Vostok
Scott.
Station?
Emerson Scott.
Cool.
What is the likelihood of the research station in Antarctica becoming infested with cracknids?
It's minus 80 there right now, so I don't think so.
Well, you know what? They do have super spider powers at this point.
Ah,
So
share
they're
sound. I figured it out. Okay,
Damn
ready?
it, Joey.
Okay, we have to watch it now. Now everybody has to be quiet
It's
or
only
over.
1 minute,
yelled at.
and people are asking what can be learned from drugging spiders.
Lots.
The wood spider is the most accomplished of all web-building species. Recently, scientists gave these tiny creatures a variety of psychoactive drugs to observe their effects on web building. When given a minute dose of LSD, the spider's web took on an unfamiliar, minimalist structure. When given caffeine, the web structure was not affected, but the spider's behavior was. Given THC, the active ingredient in marijuana, the spider didn't build a web. It built a hammock, where it lay all day and watched the caffeine spider go.
Did anyone else lose audio?
When given alcohol, the spider built a web.
Yeah, but I,
Found a mate,
I think my internet
and raised over
this.
100.
It's probably my fault.
But the mate got a restraining order, and now the spider can't. Mate got a restraining order, and now the spider can't go within 100 centimeters of the web. Restraining order, and now the spider can't go within 100 centimeters of the web. The crack cocaine spider figured building webs was for suckers. Waited till the caffeine spider was exhausted, then came up behind it and popped a cap in its ass. Nice web, Mr. Crack Spider. When winter came, the marijuana spider had no place to live. It ended up in the crack web as the crack spider's bitch. For more information on the crack spider's bitch, contact the Canadian Wildlife Service in Ottawa.
And now,
So what we just witnessed was evidence of MK Ultra in the animal world.
Hey guys, I remember in the 1990s. I remember the cartoon Rugrats. I used to watch them when I was a kid.
I watch
I
Rugrats
love
too,
that
one,
Frankie.
too.
Frankie. Rugrats is one of my favorites.
I have a hard time believing that was actually produced by the National Film Board of Canada. However, hilarious.
There is a serious
I'll put
study
the
though
proper-
where they do there. You can see the photos. There's a more serious study, and as I recall, the LSD one was actually the most intricate of the webs. And then, but if you search Google Images, there's a different study that is a serious one.
I'll put the video in
I
proper
bet
so that
if they
I
gave it
actually have
meth,
it
they would
saved.
make like 50 webs.
I actually have it saved, that one, so that it's in my computer. So I'll put the video proper in without all the skips in this. Now you can cut out this one and put that one in. We're pretty much at the end of the show time. Frankie McDonald, how can everyone find you in the world of the internet?
My Twitter is at Frankie McD. My Facebook is Frankie MacDonald. My Facebook public figure page is Frank Down with a blue check mark. My Instagram is Frankie MacD1984 with a blue check mark. And my TikTok is Frank Down 1984. My Clap is Frank Down 1984. My Twitch is Frankie MacDonald 1984. My Snapchat is Frankie MACDO, and my LinkedIn is Frankie MacDonald. And my YouTube channel is Dogs and Wolves. If you want to buy Frankie's merch, go to frankiestore.ca. If you want to buy my bobbleheads, search Frankie McDonald talking bobblehead, National Bobbleheads Hall of Fame.
Always good to see you, Frankie. Always good to talk to you. Always good to have you on the show. You've been hearing us on C for 88.7 FM, CKUW 95.9 FM. I'm Joey Only, your host. This week on the show, we had Olivier Forbes-Bouillon up in Kalduktuk. We had Peter Galanko in Virginia Beach. We had Imogen Cookie Bailey in Victoria. We had Brandon Hauk in Brooks, Alberta. We had Joe Stover up in Churchill, Manitoba. We had Frankie McDonald over in Sydney, Nova Scotia. And we had myself, Joey Only, here in Wells, British Columbia. That's the show for this week. We'll see you next time. All right, recording stop.
But we're still live on YouTube though, right?
We are still live on the YouTube.
Okay, so mind your
But
P's and
don't get
Q's,
naked
folks.
just yet.
Well, you can swear on the YouTube. You just can't swear on the fucking internet, on the radio.
Yeah, no, YouTube
You
is
get demonetized on YouTube.
for
Well,
swearing.
I
No.
swear in my videos sometimes. I'm just not like foul about it, right? It's
If
like,
you want to get your ad revenue, you can't say the hard words like the F bombs and that sort of thing.
I have.
The George Carlin 7
You don't
words.
get ads on your videos or paid for those
That's
ads.
a good,
YouTube is a wasteland of
guideline.
trash. Why is that the thing where they draw the line? That makes zero sense.
That
'Cause it's
applies,
America.
no problem. Oh, it's a. I get
Olivier
I
knows.
get a lot of ads on content where there's a lot of cuss words in it, but it's music. But for some reason, when it's vlog content, it seems the rules are stricter. It don't make no sense to me.
I've never had anything censored for language. I'm not that foul, but I sometimes do swear to my stuff. Like, but the radio is different. That's CRTC, right? We got to like keep it.
Oh, they're
Yeah.
strict.
It's about professionalism. Canadian radio telecommunication. No, it is. It's about professionalism. There's a certain expectation what the radio industry expects, and do that. No big fucking deal.
Campus and community radio gets a lot of leeway as it is, so it's just basically like don't abuse the privilege. Like you're not gonna get your PP slapped if you're kind of talking and you're like, yeah, and I said this, or if you say like, if you say fuck in a different context or things like that, you're not gonna get your PP slapped for it. But if you're just like, if you're using fuck as a verb, a noun, and an adjective the entire time, then that's where they're gonna have a problem with it. So
See, I need some contextual clarification because when you said depending on usage is where they'll.
Well, when you're live and you have a guest say something, it's one thing. But I mean, we're not live. We're a pre-recorded show.
Except
And it's
for
just,
right now on YouTube.
Yeah. Well, YouTube, you're
except
not
for
going
on
to get a
YouTube,
terms of
but
service
I don't.
violation,
Who cares?
but you'll
It's my
get.
YouTube channel.
They might demonetize you, and they might
They're
still
not
put
gonna
ads on the
demonetize me.
video, but just not give you the money for the ads. That's what they did on my YouTube channel.
They won't demonetize.
There goes your $1,000,000. Shit.
shit.
Anyway,
So
I gotta
what's the
run.
radio? Like,
I gotta
if you
run,
have any
guys.
complaints for
YouTube
YouTube or
gets
Google,
PG-13?
I'll be living next to them so I can deliver them personally to their employees.
You do it, Pete. Have a good move, buddy.
Yeah, I need to get
Enjoy it.
ready. COVID's been whooping my butt the past few days, and I'm finally feeling decent. But I got to pack up my stuff within the next few days and get to Colorado.
Right, do your thing, Joey. Good to see you, Imogen. Good to see you,
All
Olivia.
right.
Good to see you, Brandon.
Likewise.
Good to see you, Pete. Have a safe move. Be well. Don't push yourself too hard.
Yeah, I need to sleep.
Yeah.
I've been good for this episode, but when I woke up this morning, boy, COVID, no joke. Past 2 days, oh
See you
Lord.
later, Joe. Good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, good to see you. And before I go too, Joey may have mentioned it or not, but Pete, you should totally take little snippets of your journey along the way, because that would be kind of cool to be like, Pete's move across the country, wang dang doodle. Well, here I am, Pete. I'm here, and look at the weather here. Well, gotta go. Here I am in Nebraska. Well, gotta go. Wing dang doodle. All that stuff. Anyway,
I
like
should.
that.
I need to start doing
Do
Insta
it.
and TikTok and stuff, not just for attention, but also because I'm trying to grow my reach so I can do my other things as well. Good thinking, Joe.
Verge fam,
Do not
baby.
sleep in the back of your
First
wall.
fam, and then I'm doing my VVS thing.
Out of here.
Right on.
There
Cheers.
y'all. Out of here.
Love ya.
Good night, Joe.
Yeah. Bye.
See you later.
Peace out, deuces.
All right, I'm gonna go hop into class because I'm late for school for meteorology right now.
Cool.
Awesome. See ya.
Flight school.
Yep, that's the one.
luck.
That's gonna be fun.
All right. Ciao. I'm gonna close her down too. Then I think.
All right. I'm gonna go back to the block party. Just kidding. No, I'm done partying tonight.
Hey, Brandon. It's just you and me, man.
Yeah.
How often does that happen?
It doesn't happen often, but well, I was pretty late tonight. Yeah. Decided to have a beer with the boss. So
Ah.
Yeah.
I there's always our pre-show jibber jabber, and then like pre-show there was no jibber jabber, so it's just like,
I know.
okay, I'm gonna stream the show live.
Well, I think I should be
And,
on time. Yeah. No
everyone's
block.
gonna show up at 6:59 like they do. So
Oh yeah.
there's like 5 minutes of me setting up the live stream, just kind of sitting here like woo, doo, 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 doo. And it's like this would be the perfect time when Brandon would be here.
Yeah. Next week I'll be on earlier on
Yeah.
time.
It's always great, man. Always
And I'm
great.
going on holidays at the beginning of August, so that's gonna be. I might be gone.
Where
I'm
you gonna
gone. Gone.
Where you going?
Well, I'm keeping this a secret for now, but I'm going to PEI.
You're live on YouTube.
Oh.
You come to BC, buddy. That's funny. We won't tell anyone.
Oh yeah.
Classic. Yeah, PEI is really nice, man.
Oh yeah. Never been there before.
I think there's
I've
only
been-
one person. I think there's only
Yeah.
one person watching now, anyways. So
Oh yeah.
I think
Yeah. Last 3 years, so haven't been able to go because, well, you know why, but now I'm able to go. So
well,
got
and
you.
you're so orange red that if you lay down, you're just going to blend in with the soil.
Oh yes, that's right. Yeah.
No, it's nice there, man. It's really nice.
Yeah.
If you're going that far, you might as well jump over and say hi to Frankie.
Might
You're
do
a boat
that.
ride away.
Boat right away. Yeah, I might have to do that.
I'm pretty sure there's two ferries. One that goes to the Arch close to New Brunswick, Nova Scotia border. And I think there's one that goes to Sydney.
Okay, yeah, and then I think there's one goes to New Glasgow, Nova Scotia, somewhere around there, Pictou County.
Yeah, New Glasgow is definitely the one.
Yeah.
But I thought there was one that also goes to Sydney.
Okay.
I could be wrong about that.
I think that one goes to Quebec. That what's that one called? It is Madeline. Oh, that little island from Quebec there. Forget the
Oh,
name.
you mean out in the middle of St. Lawrence there.
Yeah.
Stompin' Tom has a song about it.
Isle de Madeline. That's it. That's it. Isle de Madeline.
Yeah, it's crazy looking. I've sometimes watched those flights over Canada shows.
Yeah.
And they had a couple about those islands out there, right? And it's like,
Oh yeah,
it's like a different world, man.
Oh, it is. Yeah. Yeah. Never been to Maritimes before.
Yeah, that's cool.
Marking some provinces off my bucket list. Those are the only 3 provinces I haven't been to yet. I've been to everywhere else. So.
I only haven't been to the 2 of the territories.
Okay, yeah. I haven't been up there either. So territories and Maritimes.
I've played shows in every province, so.
Okay.
Oh yeah, definitely many. The Joey Only show was happening when we were doing it.
Yeah,
we were traveling. It's a different lifetime.
Yeah, I think I'm taking Swoop, so we'll see how that goes. Swoop.
What does that mean?
The flight called Swoop.
Oh, like a new. Oh yeah, okay.
For ones, yeah.
Yeah, I don't take Air Canada.
Taking direct from Edmonton to Charlottetown, so it should be no pit stops.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Well, you should still check in to the show from the.
Oh yeah. Actually, I'm flying that Thursday, so it's going to be tough.
Okay, well, yeah.
Unless I can do it on the plane, but we'll
Send the travel videos.
travel. Oh yeah, I'll send videos. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Well,
All right on, man.
And I should be back the next Thursday for the block party again. So we got another block party to do. That's
How
next.
many block? That's a lot of block parties.
We do 4 a year. Yeah, go to different neighborhoods and just throw everything out and put on a party.
That's
For
cool.
the whole neighborhood there. So it's a lot of fun.
And go live on the air when you're doing it, or
Well, I jumped on the microphone and did a little weather dealio while my weather was actually playing on the radio. So it kind of standing out there and my weather's going, and everyone thinks how are you at 2 places at once? Well,
you learn how to throw your voice.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Well, sweet. I'm gonna shut down here because I'm gonna do something I don't normally do. I'm
okay.
gonna put on clean clothes. I'm gonna walk up to the pub and have a Shirley Temple and watch Danny Bell, my friend from Prince George,
Okay.
play some songs. I might even take my audio video camera, the one that's really good for recording live music, and record some of his songs until I've had enough of the alcoholic atmosphere.
Yeah.
But just to get out of the house, and he's a buddy, I should go see him play, and at least make an appearance, and
Oh yeah.
be good for me to get out.
Yeah. That's what I'm doing with my trip too. Going to see some friends. Haven't seen for
Great.
5, so it's gonna be good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm going to bed.
All right. Yeah, you got to get up early, eh?
Yeah.
Cool. We'll see you tomorrow, man. Or see you
See you
next time.
tomorrow.